Crafters and YouTubes, this is Big Boss here with another gun review. This is gun review number 8, and it is of my buddy's ICS M4. And this gun has been heavily customized. As you can tell, first, custom paint job. Now I'm going to start at the back, as usual, and work my way to the flash hider. Okay, first up, this gun has a 6-position collapsible stock. This is the LE, kind of the LE stock, which is pretty much common now, as opposed to the 3-position. It also is originally, this gun was originally wired to the front. Then it was changed to wired through the back. And as you can see, they drilled a hole through the buffer tube to where you can attach the battery to the stock. Now the way they did this, they did not do a crane. They didn't have a crane stock style in mind. What they decided to use, what the user usually does, if I can find it. Bear with me one moment. Keyword is if I can find it. Okay, never mind. I'll have to dig around, but basically what they use here it is a battery bag. Attach that to your stock, and the usual battery that this user uses, I just don't have it charged up, is a GNP 3300 milliamp 12 volt battery. Now, of course I talked about the stock and the buffer tube. The gun has a functional forward assist, which means that if your gears lock up, you just hit the forward assist. Standard selector switch like on all M4s. Safe, semi, auto. Okay, this gun is a newer model ICS. It is a turbo 3000 motor, and you may be able to tell this way, but you see, a turbo 3000, if you put screws on the outside of the foregrip, on the outside of the handguard, and a screw or something sticks to it, that's how you know it's a turbo 3000 or higher motor. Okay. One unique feature of ICS is that it has a 2-piece gearbox, and to get the 2-piece gearbox, you simply pull out the back, push the back pin out, and grab a screwdriver. Take the back pin out of the weapon, push it out. Once it comes out, and then you pull up. And as you can see, here's your split gearbox. Now while I have it open, I will talk about the upgrades. Well, first off, with the ICS, you can remove the top cover, the top part of the gearbox, which is right here. And this is how, like, a good thing with ICS is if you want a CQB and outdoor gun in the same package, and you don't like opening up gearboxes, or you don't have the money to buy 2 different guns, just get yourself an ICS M4, and then you can have one of these cylinders shooting 400 feet per second and the other shooting 350. Right here are your gears. These are full tooth helical. As far as I know, you can't get these anymore, so this is a fast cycle rate on full auto. Now put the upper gearbox back in. You just slide it down so it connects to the hop-up chamber. Now I'm going to tell you something about the gears. Hang on, electrical. Okay, perfect. The gears, that's right there. With an ICS, if you can see the teeth are up here, when you close the receiver on your tappet plate, you want the gear, this bevel gear right here, to be smooth. If it has got teeth exposed and you try to close it, you will break your tappet plate. And then to close the weapon, just fold it down like that. Take your pin and reinsert it. As you can see, the custom paint job doesn't have the paint. The carry handle wasn't painted. The gun came with the cut. My buddy bought this gun used, and it didn't have a carry handle. So the carry handle was not painted. He added this as an aftermarket piece, and he added this rail to the top of the carry handle for a scope. The reason being is this gun also had a suppressor when he bought it. Well, then he sold the suppressor, and if it was set up when it was set up with the suppressor and the paint job, all he had to do was add a flashlight to the side and a small red dot scope, and his M4 was similar to the one that you see Gary Gordon using in Black Hawk Down, which he's the one Delta sniper with the camouflaged M4, which is the reason why. Now, ICS has the charging handle exposed to the hop-up, of course. You close the dust cover, which I'll show you, and you pull the charging handle back, and dust cover is exposed. Now, I think he took out the spring for the charging handle for it to return forward, so you have to return it forward manually. Which the nice thing is, by doing it this way, you can have the hop-up exposed and shooting at the same time. Right here is your magazine release. Standard all M4s. Just put it in. And then okay, and then we work our way up to a foregrip. This is the flat foregrip, standard on all M4s, standard on all base M4s. And then you have your front sight and barrel. It's got a 14.5-inch barrel like a standard M4. Flash hider is removable. As I was saying, this is a plain M4, so now I'm going to get to the shooting test. I want to do this video in one part. There's not too much to say about it because this is an M4, but it's an ICS, and I mentioned the only things different about an ICS. See what I mean? As you saw, you hear me press the forward assist. This battery is about dead. Gun is empty. Now I have a little bit left time to spare, and I will say this about ICS M4s. They're fairly reliable. It's very easy to grease your gears, so you don't have to take the whole thing apart. The only problem is they do use some custom parts. The hop-up chamber is different than any other brand. Luckily, ICS hop-up units are not that expensive. They're like 15 bucks on Airsoft Atlanta when they're in stock. And the gearbox itself is a different gearbox. It's still a V2 gearbox. It's just because it's a split gearbox. And also, your aftermarket stocks won't always work unless you buy an adapter. Because of ICS, the bolt for your buffer tube goes in the bottom as opposed to the top. Because when you have the top, it goes to the upper portion of the gearbox. Okay, this is Big Boss with the review of the ICS M4A1. And that's it. Signing.